Hi guys, it's LpsHoney and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be making a pretty experimental LPS custom, something I've actually never done before and I've never seen it be done by anybody else, so hopefully it's kind of like a LPS tube first. You might be thinking, Maddie, what are you going to make? And the answer is a living garden turtle. Now, if any of you play Pokemon, you may know of Torterra. It is a big old turtle with kind of like a terrarium garden growing on its shell. And that's what kind of inspired me for this custom. Of course, I'm not going to be doing the exact same design because I have my own ideas of what I want to create. But that's pretty much what I'm going to be making today. I'm going to be using fake grass, molding, using clay. It's going to be the whole shebang. So I'll show you guys what the turtle looks like beforehand. And then of course you guys will get to see the end result by the end of the video. So here's what our little turtle looks like before we do anything to him. Pretty standard design, you know. It's actually one of the first turtles I got, but I ended up having two of them. So I am using this one's double to create our beautiful living garden turtle. I'm going to be using a bunch of different materials for this custom, so I will actually be leaving a list in the description down below of all the items I used, and if I can get their specific brand names, I will also put them down below just to help you guys out if you want to know any specifics. But what I'm going to do is actually film my painting process. It might not be the best because I'm not like a professional LPS customizer or anything like that, but I'll try and capture as many moments as I can. So without further ado, let's get customizing and turn this little guy into my dream living garden turtle. Hello, this is VoiceOver Honey. I'm just going to be putting in a few little bits of information here and there where I think it's needed. So first of all, for the sculpting parts, such as the mushroom and stones, I used green stuff. It is a type of modeling clay or putty, whatever you want to call it. Mine was a little old and lumpy, but doesn't really matter for nature settings. But I definitely recommend it. This was my first time like really using it. To like full-on create something unique, I guess, not just like filling in errors or something like that. Like I full-on sculpted the little mushroom and everything. It was definitely a smaller project sculpting wise, but for my first attempt I think it worked out really well. Like I said, mine was a little old, so it was a little lumpy. I've gotten fresh stuff now. But yeah, because it's nature setting, it wasn't that important to me, but I highly recommend it. I will leave the actual like brand name in the description down below. But yeah, once I had modeled that off camera, because it does take like a full day to set, I just went ahead and started painting. One thing I quickly want to mention is you'll notice that the lighting, camera angles, and even my clothes change a lot during this kind of tutorial time-lapse, and that's because it was recorded over multiple days. A lot of the time I painted a specific part of the body and then left it for the rest of the day because I had other things to do. I know a lot of professional LPS customizers can make a beautiful, amazing, like glass-eyed, fully sculpted custom in one day. I don't know how they do it. Unfortunately, I am not that talented, but yeah, if you notice changes like that, that is the reason why. I hope you don't mind too much, but yeah. I also did quite a few coats of paint, and you'll notice that I don't record every single coat of paint because it's a lot of the same step over and over again, so there's no point really showing you me painting the head 20 times over to get the paint thicker. And stuff, even like the bottom of the shell, even though it's a dark brown, it still took multiple coats, and yeah, I didn't think you guys wanted to sit through every single coat that I did. So as you can see, there were a lot of coats done off camera, specifically in the eyes. You can tell that there's a big difference. And one thing I wanted to mention is with the shell, I was originally planning to cover the whole shell in grass, the inner shell and the outer shell, and this is why I painted a kind of mossy green. That's just because in case that I didn't have enough fake grass or it was kind of patchy, you would at least still have green underneath, so it looked more full. And I really recommend this if you're going to put any substance on top of a pet like glitter or fake grass. Definitely paint the same color or similar color underneath so it looks more full, just in case you have gaps. And of course I wanted to do like as much of the small detail work like the mushroom and the stones before I put the fake grass on, to avoid painting on top of the fake grass, if that makes sense. It's just a lot easier to do all those steps before the fake grass, because the fake grass was either going to make or break this custom, so I really wanted to get as much as I could done before that final step. I've never been good at painting LPS eyes. Maybe it's the brushes I'm using, maybe it's my technique, maybe it's the paint. I did end up doing a different technique this time and using new brushes, which definitely did help, and I think it's one of my best looking eyes that I've done yet. Still not as good as I would like it to look, so I definitely still have a lot to learn. And I did actually do majority of the eye work off camera. That's just because it's very hard for me to see up close. Now the exciting part. Originally I was going to put PVA glue down and then sprinkle the fake grass over the top and keep doing layers like that, but the PVA glue was incredibly weak and just didn't want to hold the grass in place, so I actually ended up pulling most of it off, putting it back on using super glue and tweezers, and then once I had built up enough of the grass, I ended up putting Mod Podge over the top to seal it all. So I definitely recommend this technique. Just use super glue and tweezers to put it on, and put it on in small clumps instead of like sprinkling it everywhere. It really helped. And of course, please seal it with something like Mod Podge. It really helps just keep it all together and stop little bits from flaking off and falling everywhere. Welcome to the LPS Enchanted Garden. I hope you kind of enjoyed my tutorial. I know it was a bit messy and I did skip a couple steps, mainly because my face was like right up to the LPS trying to see what I was painting. But I hope it was somewhat helpful and you got an idea of what I was doing to make my living garden turtle. But I'm sure you're just as eager as I am to see the finished product, the turtle in full glory. So without further ado, here is my living garden LPS turtle custom. Ta-da! Here he is. I am so happy with this little guy. I really went out of my box for customizing this time, and I tried a lot of new techniques. I tried new paintbrushes. I tried doing an eye design that I have never done before, and of course he has full-on grass growing on his shell, which was the main kind of feature that I wanted to get done, and I'm so glad that it turned out good in the end. My camera's being a little iffy, so hopefully everything's in focus, but he does have glossy eyes. As you can see, the light is reflecting off of it, so I'll try and angle it down so you can just see the colors in their full glory. I am so happy with him. He just looks amazing. I love the little stone kind of like eyebrows on the front, the gold and dark pink eyes, and then of course let's talk about the shell. I'll try and get some close-up shots of it, maybe some pictures so you can see the detail a bit better. But we of course have the fake grass, which thankfully is all being held in place because of a matte varnish. I used Mod Podge matte varnish to hold it all in place, which stops it from flaking and breaking off everywhere. Highly recommend it. You just kind of glop it on there and let it dry. Do not try and brush it around or anything, because that's when pieces start falling off. Of course, we have the mushroom on the back, which does actually have a bit of gold on there. I'm not sure if it's showing up, but I did dust a little bit of gold paint on there, the same gold that's in the eyes, just to give it a little bit of shine on top, and I think it looks really pretty in person. And then on this side of the shell, we have the little stone in there, which is the same dark gray as the stone on the eyebrows. And yeah, also with the grass, it is all one color, but I did go in with a paintbrush and kind of dab a bit of yellow and dark green around just to give it a more realistic grass vibe, so it's not just all one color. As you can see, the grass that the turtle's standing on is all one color, and it does look a little fake, so I wanted to give it a more realistic look, and I'm glad that I did because it turned out really nice. Overall, I am so happy with how this little guy turned out. I don't have a definitive name for him. He has just been code-named my living garden turtle. I know it's not technically a living garden, but the whole kind of concept is for him to have an alive, beautiful little ecosystem growing on his shell, and I think I captured that pretty well. If I could change anything, I'd maybe want to put a water little feature on there, maybe a little pond or stream, but because the LPS turtle shell is so small, it would be a little difficult, so I think keeping it how it is has turned out really good. Maybe I could do a beach themed shell in the future. I think that would be awesome with the sand and kind of the varnish water effect. Let me know what you think, because I think doing a whole series of nature themed turtles would be awesome. And yeah, I think he turned out really well. I'm so happy with him. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm not sure if anyone's done anything like this before. I don't think anyone has. I could not see any actual grass shells online, so I'm proud of myself. Pat myself on the back. And of course I had to make him a nice matching background, so I think he fits in really nicely. So yeah, there he is. I mean, what more is there to say, really? I think he speaks for himself, okay? He shines in his own right. Just look at this man. Again, I apologize for my camera being a bit of a butthole when it comes to focusing. I really don't know what the issue is. I can manually focus it, but even then it's a bit tricky to figure out whether or not it's fully in focus. But like I said, I will try to insert some pictures throughout, which will hopefully show up a lot more of the detail that has been put into this guy. And yeah, that's really about all that I have for this video. I love this little man. If you guys have any suggestions for names, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd really love a nature themed name, you know, if that makes sense. But for now, he is just the living garden turtle. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, the messy tutorial, and of course the grand reveal at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with some new short films. Of course, what? I meant to say October and just completely forgot that the letter C was in there, but October is just around the corner, so y'all know spooky season is my time to shine. So yeah, there's going to be actually some Halloween customs coming out, some videos about them, and of course they'll be featured in short films and longer films as well, so I ain't gonna reveal too much, but just let me tell you, this ain't the only creative idea I got, okay? There's a lot of experimental customs that are coming your way. But anyway, that is another story for another time. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like always, please don't forget to like, comment, and of course subscribe. And yeah, let me know what you think of my little turtle man. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!